On April 3, 1973, a man stood on a street in New York City and made a phone call. But this wasn't a normal call. It was the first call ever made from a handheld mobile phone. And here's the twist. He didn't call his family. He didn't call his boss. He called his rival. Before we continue, like the video and subscribe, because by the end of this reconstruction, you'll understand how one phone call reshaped civilization and why the first mobile phone looked nothing like what's in your pocket today. Before mobile phones, communication was tied to places. You called from a house, an office, a payphone. If you left the building, you disappeared. Car phones existed, but they were bulky. They required heavy equipment, and they weren't truly mobile. The dream was simple, a phone you could carry anywhere, but the technology wasn't ready. The biggest problem was network capacity. Early radio systems could only handle a small number of simultaneous calls. Too many users meant interference, dropped connections, chaos. Engineers needed a smarter system. That's where the cellular idea was born. Instead of one giant signal tower, cities would be divided into small cells, each cell with its own antenna. That concept changed everything. Was Martin Cooper, an engineer at Motorola. At the time, Motorola and Bell Labs were racing to dominate mobile communication. Bell Labs focused on car-based systems. Motorola believed in handheld devices. Cooper wanted something personal, portable, individual, not tied to vehicles, not tied to walls. The first cell phone weighed about 1.1 kilograms. It was almost 25 centimeters tall. Battery life? About 20 to 30 minutes of talk time. Charging time? Around 10 hours. It looked like a brick because it was, but it worked. Standing on 6th Avenue in New York, Martin Cooper dialed his competitor at Bell Labs and said, "I'm calling you from a real handheld cellular phone." It wasn't just innovation, it was a statement. The future had arrived. The first commercial cell phone, the Motorola Dynatac 8000X, was released in 1983, 10 years after that first call. It cost nearly $4,000. Adjusted for inflation, that's over $10,000 today. It wasn't for everyone. It was for executives, for status, for power. Then networks expanded. Digital signals replaced analog. Phones became smaller, lighter, more powerful. SMS emerged, then cameras, then internet, then smartphones. The phone stopped being just a phone. It became a computer, a camera, a bank, a GPS, a memory archive. The real revolution. The cell phone didn't just change communication, it changed business, relationships, politics, privacy, attention spans. For the first time in history, humans were permanently reachable, and that changed behavior forever. Martin Cooper made the first handheld call, but cellular theory came from Bell Labs. Radio technology existed before. Engineers across decades contributed. So who invented the cell phone? Like most revolutions, it wasn't one man, it was a race. But Cooper made the moment visible, and sometimes the first visible moment becomes history. The first cell phone was heavy, expensive, limited. Today, the device in your pocket is millions of times more powerful, but it started with one call, a call made not to say hello, but to prove a point. Now, I want to ask you, if someone handed you the first cell phone in 1973, would you have believed it would replace cameras, computers, and even wallets? Comment one word, impossible or inevitable. And if you made it this far, you already see something others don't. Technology doesn't arrive perfectly, it arrives early. Subscribe, because next we're reconstructing another invention that quietly reshaped your life.